In today's video, we're going over the new Sony lenses coming in 2023. 2023 is shaping up to be a great year for Sony lenses and bodies, as we have around 6 lenses that need to be revamped, and I think this is the year to do so. It will be a year of an APS-C lens push for Sony, I believe because of the FX30, and I feel as though they will produce a new 6000 series camera this next year. So with that said, let's get into which lenses will be updated and the specs that will be in each one. Side note, I hope that every one of these lenses comes true this next year. First up, the 24-105 f4G OSS. This lens is amazing for what you get in this price range. Great size, has great reach, it's fairly sharp, consistent f4 aperture, and very little focus breathing. It is one of the best lenses to have in your kit, as the versatility keeps me using this lens all the time. There's a link to a video below that I did a couple of years back about this lens, and I highly recommend watching it because it goes over this lens in detail. So what will they do in a Mark II version? Well, I would love to say an f2.8 OSS version that has an internal zoom and aperture ring. The perfect lens. Done. No more lenses we need from Sony for forever. That would be the perfect lens. But that's not gonna happen. What we are going to get with the Mark II version is faster and more accurate focusing with an aperture ring behind the focus ring and a D-click switch for the video shooters out there. Honestly, with those specs, take my money. This lens is already awesome, and with those added features, I will be first in line for this guy. This lens will most likely set us back around $14.99 to bring it up to today's pricing for a lens of this caliber. I think I could justify that cost for this lens. Honestly, I can't wait to see if this one comes true. Let me know your thoughts down below on this guy. I always love to have conversations about this lens in particular because it seems to be one that a lot of people really like. And it should be, it's a great lens. Next up, the Sony 16-35 f2.8 G Master lens. This lens is due for a refresh in comparison to the 24-70 B2 that just was refreshed in 2022. We're looking at almost the exact same treatment that the 24-70 just got. 22% lighter, 18% smaller than previous, newer coatings, faster motors for improved autofocus, more control over focus breathing, aperture ring with D-click. I think it's going to be a common theme throughout all of the Sony lenses coming out is the aperture ring with D-click, but we'll see. I think they'll have more focus hold buttons. Honestly, I'm excited about this lens also. The 16-35 is such a great focal range for a ton of work. Having the faster aperture is awesome, and those new features really will bring this lens up to modern times. The hope is that they add OSS, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. The 100-400 f4.5 to 5.6 G Master OSS lens is next up. I do love this lens, even though I'm thinking about selling it at the moment. It is excellent, it does the job, and I think that this may be the year that we either get a revamped version or we follow Canon's suit and get a 100-500 f4.5 to 5.6 G Master lens. That is lighter, has better stabilization, the aperture ring, and a faster focus motor for the faster cameras that Sony has and will be coming out with this next year. If they stick with the same focal range, we will be looking at a minimum of new focus motors and coatings, maybe the addition of the aperture ring, but with that smooth to tight ring, this may not be the case. Then again, they did do that in this 24-70. They gave an aperture ring and a smooth and tight little click thing, so we'll see. This whole lens is more of a hope than going to happen, I think, but it's one that I wish will happen, and it should. It's been, it's an old lens at this point. Next up is our first APS-C lens. We gotta give some love to those APS-C cameras as they've been kind of left in the dust for a little while. The first one is the 10-18 f4G OSS lens. Say that 10 times fast. This lens first came out in 2012, which is crazy that it hasn't been revamped since then. And maybe I am way out in left field here, but it's a great lens that deserves the 2023 facelift that Sony could and should give it. I had this lens when I first started my YouTube channel. It was the perfect lens to start with, get the a6400, a microphone, and this lens for anyone who wanted to be like Casey Neistat, me included. I wanted to be like Casey Neistat in the beginning. I used the crap out of this thing for a plethora of jobs and personal work that I did at the time. Cut my teeth with this lens. This in the 18-105, but we'll talk about that in a second. I think it would be awesome if they gave this the aperture ring and better focus motors and just gave it a little love. Plus for the FX30, it would be a great companion for that camera. I was surprised in doing research for this video that this guy costs $900 still. I didn't think it was gonna be that much money. When it's not on special, it's $900, and that's a lot of money, I think, for this lens. I mean, it's a great lens, but basically a 16-35 f4 in an APS-C version. I don't know, you tell me, but it would be a great pickup for the FX30 or any of the APS-C cameras, even if they keep it the way it is right now. PZ 18-105 f4G OSS lens. This one's even longer than the last one was. This lens is perfect for the FX30 and other APS-C cameras that Sony should and will be releasing in 2023, I think. Another one from my past that I used for a long time and did a ton of work with. This one came out in 2013 and I had it in 16-17, I think. And it was a great lens. And the power zoom was awesome and helped out a lot when you wanted to slowly zoom in on a subject. You can make it go slower or faster if you pushed it further up or further down, or faster up and down. Like if you just crept it, it'd go slow. It was pretty cool. It always yielded great results, is what I'm trying to say. The constant f4 aperture with better focus motors for autofocusing, and maybe, we'll say it, the aperture ring, again, maybe. I feel it's getting old saying it, but it's kind of low-hanging fruit, and it makes me talk about these lenses a little bit longer, so bear with me. But I think that every lens is going to have it. Just like I think that every new body that Sony comes out with would be stupid not to include the A7R5 screen. It just makes sense. Just do it, Sony. Last but not least, for the APS-C lenses is the 16-55 f2.8G OSS lens. This one will also get the 16-35 GM and the 24-70 GM treatment. Faster motors for increased autofocus accuracy and speed. New coatings. Being lighter really isn't a thing for this lens, but maybe a touch, maybe just like a couple ounces, we'll see. Then, should I say it? The aperture ring? It's a no-brainer for this lens, as it would be a great addition to like the FX30 for video with that f2.8 aperture. This may be the king setup for the FX30 with the 16-55 f2.8, which is pretty much just a cheaper FX3 with 24-70 GM lens. This would be my setup if I went with the FX30. Which, speaking of, what's your take on it? Do you think it's a cool camera or good option? Let me know down below. Or if you would like this lens to go with the FX30, an updated version of it anyway. All right, that's all I've got. That's all I think that Sony will grace us with in this next year, as far as lenses go. I mean, there could be some more. I mean, I could be wrong. We'll see if there's like some primes that come out or something, some new, like maybe a 40mm f1.4 GM lens. I'd buy that in a heartbeat. Maybe a new 55. We'll see. I mean, that 55, nothing ancient. Maybe a new 28mm. That was the one that came out a long time ago. That's in the f2 28mm. It'd be great for a refresh. I mean, there's a lot of lenses that Sony could refresh. If you think I got this right, or if you want to add your own predictions, please comment below, as I love to talk about these throughout the year. And then when one comes out, or if it doesn't come out, I either I was right or get blasted for being wrong, but it's always good fun. So in the next video, I will be going over the cameras I think Sony will give us next year. Sell us next year for lots of money. And the specs that will accompany them. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button and sub if you would like to. No push, but it does help me get noticed more, so I appreciate that. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.